The EFF plans to march against all companies that haven't paid employees money claimed from the Unemployment Insurance Fund. EFF leader Julius Malema gave that warning at a media briefing earlier today. Manqoba Mqunu is following the story for us. He joins us now live. So companies must brace themselves. Malema is calling them out for not paying UIF.
Indeed, Shahan, the EFF leader says there are quite a number of companies that still do not pay the UIF, even though they had made claims from government. He says that they've spoken to quite a number of workers who have laid complaints that they are not getting their UIF payments. And he says that as the EFF, they will be following up on this matter, saying that those companies should in fact pay those monies within 48 hours or else they must face mass action from the EFF. So he was speaking earlier on saying that those workers who have still not been paid their UIF need to contact the EFF's labour desk to make their claims from there, to raise their complaints with the EFF. And he says they will go to these companies, they'll target these companies and make sure that they pay these monies. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
The EFF will organise mass action against all companies that have claimed the UIF from the state and still have not paid the workers. Workers must contact the EFF to alert us of companies that have not paid the UIF, and we will visit them.
So Malema feels strongly about the issues of immigration, doesn't he? What did he have to say about the ongoing debate on the employment of foreign nationals in local companies?
Well, certainly, Shahan, Malema saying that the party is quite concerned at the fact that many of the companies seem to be hiring foreign nationals. And this, he says, is due to the fact that they want to exploit them. So he says that in many occasions you'll find that these foreign nationals are either underpaid, and some of them are not even paid their wages. And the living conditions that they have to enjoy as well are also quite an issue. Also raised the issue of farm workers, Shahan, saying that farm workers themselves, there needs to be a probe into the living conditions. But not only that, also the issue of wages, given the tensions that we've seen in some of those farming communities, which he says is further perpetuated by the living conditions and the treatment of those farm workers. But in terms of foreign nationals, he's made a call to the South African government to actually employ 60% South Africans and to ensure that those South Africans are paid accordingly. He says that the reason, or the fact that many of the foreign nationals are employed in many of the companies, it's what's actually fueling tension and even xenophobic tension to a large extent. Let's take a listen to what he had to say on this.
We therefore call on all employers, inclusive of farms, retail stores, restaurants, hotels, the hospitality business and the entire private sector to ensure that a minimum of 60% of their employees are South Africans. The EFF labour desk in all parts of South Africa will visit different establishments to ensure that the employment of minimum 60% South Africans is a reality. This program is not as xenophobic, but aimed at guarantee protection of all employees in different sectors of the economy, because the establishment abuses the migration status of our brothers and sisters to violate basic labor and human rights on the basis of citizenship.
And what's he saying about COVID-19?
Well, Shahan, Malema saying that they will not hesitate as a party to support a hard lockdown in South Africa. And this, of course, comes amid reports of a possible second wave, given the number of high infections that we've been seeing in recent days. And Malema saying that as a party, as the EFF, they're warning South Africans to abide by those lockdown regulations, to continue sanitizing, to washing their hands, saying that as the party, they will not hesitate, if at all, there are talks that South Africa might need to go back to a hard lockdown like we've seen in the UK. So we know the EFF has been quite vocal about COVID-19. In fact, how government has handled COVID-19. It was a party that actually criticized government for actually easing those lockdown regulations. And the EFF leader saying that if South Africans do not change their attitude, they will support another call for a hard lockdown. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
All we want is South Africans to behave themselves. The economy is struggling, is going through a difficult period. And if they do not behave, we will be forced to go back to level 5, like other countries are doing. It will not be good for the economy. It will not be good for the emotions of South Africans. But if they continue to misbehave, will be left with no option but to call for level 5. This misbehavior we are observing all over the country is uncalled for.
We're going to leave it right there. Manqoba Nkunu.